G'day everybody, how you going? It's Ricardo here from Help Save the Wildlife in Bushlands in Campbelltown. Just out at a koala sighting at the moment. What we're here for is just to check and make sure it's okay, and it's quite cosy up at the top of the tree there. You'll probably see it, I don't know if I can show you just by pointing it out to it. Just right there in the tree there is a koala. Now tomorrow is Wild Koala Day, where everybody in New South Wales and Australia gets together, has a picnic, plants trees, and get as much awareness out there as possible about protecting our beautiful, iconic Australian koalas. And we need these protected, and we need the governments, councils, and all the people involved that can make something happen to listen. Now, as we've said a million times before, Campbelltown koalas are disease-free koalas, the only known disease-free koalas, and we need to protect them. In Campbelltown at the moment, we have development going crazy, and this development is threatening wildlife corridors, wildlife habitat, and if we keep doing this, we're going to destroy this beautiful creature's homes, which means we'll eventually wipe them out. In about 10 years, we'll be lucky if we can see a koala in Campbelltown, if all this development and destruction to wildlife corridors and habitat goes ahead. Out Mount Gilead Way, there's proposed for 1,700 to 2,000 homes, and that one's pretty much got the go-ahead. But then they're already talking, council and developers are already talking about another 8,000 homes to be put on Mount Gilead. Now that's 10,000 homes right next to and in prime wildlife corridors. The deceased koalas that I've been getting off Appin Road lately have been on either side of Mount Gilead, which means to me that's corridors, and they need to be protected. And if we protect them, we will keep our beautiful disease-free koalas. Now, we need to protect it. The houses to 10,000 homes in Mount Gilead is a lot of homes. We don't want to filter our koalas and other wildlife straight into there. So council, governments, developers and all involved need to sit down and think real hard. How are we going to make sure these wildlife corridors are protected, where our wildlife can get from A to B without hitting suburban streets, without having roads cut through their corridors? Now, where we are at the moment, just behind my vehicle, in front of my vehicle, there's bushlands right behind. Now, that used to be away from the koalas to get from A to B. They used to come across to this side where this beautiful fella is, and they used to go out into the back of Smith Creek Reserve. If you don't remember, a couple of days ago I done a video of a koala crossing the road. Well, that was just down a bit further. Now, this koala is in a major threat tonight of being killed from this road here. Now, we want everyone to slow down in wildlife known areas. You know, people that drive up here wouldn't even think there would be koalas up here, but there's koalas because there's bush on both sides. So we need to wake our governments up, wake our councils up, wake these greedy developers up and say, hey, listen, we moved to the MacArthur region for the beautiful wildlife and bushlands, and we want to protect that. Yes, we've all built our houses in bushlands or near bushlands, but there's development and there's overdevelopment. And at the moment, Campbelltown is going in the phase of overdevelopment. Also, Mount Gilead is a beautiful homestead and beautiful property that needs to be kept intact. But no, council agreed a long time ago that this 1,700 to 2,000 homes can go ahead, just so we can get Appin Road fixed. Well, I don't know if anyone watched the Channel 9 news the other night about Appin Road. There was no mentions whatsoever about protecting our beautiful koalas and other wildlife that cross across there. Now, right at that point where Mount Gilead is a majority of places where I pull the koalas off the road. And we government and councils and all the people involved need to get together. We need to plan this and put wildlife corridors, wildlife fencings, whatever it takes. But all they want to do It's just so Mount Gilead will be okay, so we can have 10,000 homes there. It's just pretty up the road a bit, make it look a bit nice from Mount Gilead out to Rosemeadow, and that's not good enough, you know. They're still putting our lives and the wildlife lives at danger as well. So we need to think, we're important, but so is the wildlife. We don't want people to die on the roads there, but we also don't want our wildlife to die on the roads as well. So council, developers and governments need to get together and start thinking really hard about protecting our beautiful disease-free koalas in Campbelltown. I'll let you just have a little bit of a watch. I'll point out where the koala is again, so you can see. It's just there. Just there the koala is. That little dot is a beautiful male koala. I will be coming out tonight on regular drive-bys to make sure this koala, when it does come down, can get to somewhere safely. Hopefully behind the child care over there, which used to be like a corridor, but now it's all been fenced off. So it's going to be hard for the koala to get back there. If it wants to go to the other side, it can go to Smith Creek Reserve, but there's a few streets to go through. Now, the thought process was not good when they built the homes in Roost, because if you look at Smith Creek Reserve from Google Images, you will see a beautiful Smith Creek Reserve, but then you'll see there's no connection, no connectivity for our wildlife to get from A to B. And where there is some sort of connectivity, a road is in between it. Now, we're putting our wildlife in danger by doing connectivity for the wildlife to get from A to B with roads in it. You know, Georges River Road cuts to Smith Creek Reserve. Junction Road cuts from Smith Creek to Cook's Reserve. So all these connection points are being cut. So our wildlife, and our koalas especially, that are more frequent in the areas than the other wildlife, are coming into contact with dogs in people's backyards for the simple reason is they're just trying to make their way to where they want to go. Also, they put themselves in danger from road fatalities. If I wasn't out the other night down to this one on Junction Road, he definitely would have been hit. This is a 60k road, but people are doing up to 80k's along here. Now, if I wasn't there, and it was even hard for me to stop the vehicles, I had all my lights flashed on my car, I had my vest, yellow bright vest, everything you can think of, a torch with a flashing red light on the side, and it was still difficult for me to stop these vehicles. And finally I did stop the vehicles just in time as the koala was about to walk across the road. I'll just let you look at him a bit more. So if you do see sick, injured or displaced wildlife, you can always call Wires or Sydney Wildlife. The numbers are on the bottom of my tailgate on the car in front, but you can always Google. Us as humans need to speak for these beautiful creatures, because if we don't speak for them, who will? As the sticker on the back says, the wildlife and its habitat cannot speak, so we must and we will. Connectivity for our wildlife is important, so they can get from A to B, just like it's important for us humans to get from, let's say, Roost to Minto Mall. We've got roads to make connectivity. Well, wildlife needs connectivity to get from A to B, and they don't need roads in between their corridors. It's 2018. Surely we know by now how to look after our wildlife and what's important to look after our wildlife, and not just put their lives in danger so we can overdevelop the area. Campbelltown is a beautiful area now. We should keep it this way. Yes, throw a few more houses in here and there, but not 10,000 homes in wildlife corridor areas and known habitat for koalas and other wildlife. I'll point out where he is again, just so you can all see. Right at the end of the key there. That little dot just there is him. I'll see if I can zoom in a bit closer for you. Just bear with me. There he's there. You can see, probably not the best picture, but that's him up there. Nice and cozy, asleep. Has no idea the dangers he's facing. Has no idea at all what us humans, like government, councils and developers, are doing to his home. All he wants to do is sleep, eat, breed and do what koalas do. But we're putting dangers out every day for those beautiful creatures. We're not allowing them to get from A to B safely. We are putting roads in between wildlife corridors. We are putting them in more and more danger every day, every week, every month and every year. 4 koalas killed on Appin Road in 13 days. That is just ridiculous. And what does the government and all those important, well, so-called important people come up with? We'll just paint a few lines on the road, possibly put a fence all the way along one side of Appin Road, and that will keep the koalas in. Well, that's not going to do anything, because koalas are on the other side of Appin Road, which is the Mount Gilead part. You know, there's even scientists have gone through and proven that there is koalas scratches, koala scats in Mount Gilead, and it needs to be protected. What makes us humans more important than our beautiful wildlife? It's heartbreaking to see this beautiful koala up there, high in the treetops, sleeping, not knowing what his future holds, not even a worry in the world for him. But people like me and other caring people in the world, we know what will face this koala if we don't hurry up and do something. If we don't start protecting the wildlife corridors, protecting their habitat. You know, if we don't start doing this as a community, we're not going to have these koalas for long. Like I said, I'm guessing probably another 10 years the way we're going in Campbelltown, we will wipe out a beautiful, disease-free, healthy colony of koalas. And all for what? For greed, for money, for overpopulation, overdevelopment? Ridiculous. You as a community can help. You can fight for the wildlife in the bushlands in Campbelltown to be protected. Their habitats, their corridors, their needs to be protected. Now the childcare across the road here is a new childcare. Before that was just bush and trees coming across. No longer. Now, like I said, the koalas used to use that to get from A to B. Now, that's just the childcare, and then less than 5 minutes down the road there's another childcare, and less than 5 minutes up the road there's another childcare. So there's 3 childcares within 10 minutes of each other. Now, plus that's not even counting all the other ones in Campbelltown. So was there a real need to demolish trees to put in another daycare? I don't know, maybe there was, but surely some of it could have been left as a little bit of a corridor for them to get from A to B. But no, this koala tonight's got to come down and find its way back into the bush. And I will be out here to make sure that this beautiful koala and all these relatives and all the other wildlife that's out there that needs help, I'll be there to protect it and fight for it. What did our beautiful disease-free koalas do to be in this much of a situation where their homes, their corridors are going to be destroyed because of urban sprawl. Ruth, I understand what you're going from, but the only way that we're going to come to some sort of agreement is if we pay developers, if we pay councils, if we pay the government large and large sums of money, like developers do, to get what they want. Now, trees are being destroyed all over Campbelltown. Habitat's being destroyed. Corridors are being destroyed. We are in the middle of a massive development boom in Campbelltown. And like I said, if we don't act now, we could kiss these koalas goodbye within 10 years. We've got Wilton, which is going to be developed. Housing, more housing out at Wilton, which is prime koala habitat and corridor. And it's going to be destroyed due to Wilton development out there. So it's time we all stood together and put pressure on the governments, on the RMS for Appin Road, onto our councils to get protection for these beautiful creatures and all the other wildlife that we have and our bushlands now, before it's too late. These trees that I'm standing amongst now, there's at least probably 20, 30 trees here, and all of them have been neglected. Neglected as in they got borer, and you can treat borer if you get it early enough, but these trees are beyond repair. I'll turn the camera around. I'll zoom back out. And I'll show you what these trees are like. You see that tree there? It's completely rotten. That tree will end up being cut down. That's what's going to happen to that one. This one here, you can see the branch sticking out there. That will be destroyed, cut down as well. Now, I don't know if the reason being that they've let them get to this much of a poor condition is because they want to use this land eventually, or what. Thanks to everybody who's come online and watched our live feed. It's really great to have so many caring people on our page from all over the world, not just in Campbelltown. Now, that beautiful koala still up the top there. He'll come down later on tonight. I'll be out here. Even if I have to sit on the side of the road for hours, I'll make sure that this beautiful creature is not a candidate for roadkill. Because people fly up here. Like I said, it's a 60k zone road, and people just think it's fun to fly up here. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll speak to you later. Goodbye.